looking for a female missing person who's been missing for about 11 days, okay? We've got pictures on CCTV with someone that matches your description.
What would you say to that? Is there any turning back after you've been seen on CCTV and connected to a murder?
And because you look like the person we've seen on CCTV, we just get some details off you, alright? I'll probably chop all my hair off.
Can you believe that some people respond to these shocking accusations with jokes? Let's explore the terrible story of Julia Rawson. Julia Rawson lived in Dudley, UK. Back in 2019, she was 42 years old and worked as a market trader. She was also a cool cat and enjoyed having a drink and meeting new people. Sadly, this brought a truly tragic end for her. On May 11th, Julia wrapped up her work for the day and headed to a local pub called the Bottle and Cork. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. 3 days later, her boyfriend was extremely worried. He'd have called the police sooner, but the police don't look into missing persons cases after less than 72 hours, if they're adults. So 3 days after Julia disappeared, the Dudley police released a missing person poster and started tracking Julia's movements during the last week. That's when they found the most recent CCTV footage from the Bottle and Cork. But Julia wasn't alone. She was seen talking to two men. The bigger one was showing her his distinctive tattoos on his forearms. Dudley is an 80,000 person town. It's not tiny, but it's not London. So police immediately set out to find the man with the distinctive tats. Even better, a week after they started the investigation, they found both men that were seen with Julie inside the pub. 30-year-old Nathan Maynard Ellis and 25-year-old David Leasley. David was standing on the side, fidgety and unwilling to talk. Nathan was arrogant and refused to give any details about himself.
What's your name, please?
Because you're very similar to the person that... No.
Perhaps in another scenario, Nathan was right, except he was guilty. And by now, the police were just teasing him. The police had already got the two men on a separate CCTV footage, a really creepy one. That's right, Nathan and David were carrying very heavy bags along the canal shortly after Julie was last seen alive. So the Dudley police arrested Nathan and David, took them to the police station, and then searched their flat and the surrounding canals. What they found was the stuff of horror movies. Their apartment was an ode to serial killers. There were axes, torture equipment, Chucky dolls, gory face masks, and every book imaginable on serial killers. Then, one detective got a call from his colleague. Their police dog had just sniffed out a dodgy-looking bag. It was evident from the first viewing that we had located body parts, and those parts had been found in two separate bags, sort of spread from each other over a distance of 20 or so meters. Julia had been dismembered in many pieces and wrapped in black trash bags. The killers had tried to hide the bags in bushes behind a primary school and a few feet away on wasteland. The police also found an incinerator bin where Nathan and David had burnt Julia's clothing. Inside their home, the killers had replaced their carpet. They thought they'd gotten away. But when the officers noticed the very fresh carpet, they decided to tear it apart. The underlay was still filled with Julia's blood. Nathan and David were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. During their trial, they insisted that she died by accident, and they only disposed of her body as they panicked. But the forensics team released an autopsy report. Julie had been killed with a rolling pin. She'd been repeatedly struck on the head. Nathan was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. But since his imprisonment, he's been convicted of 4 counts of he'll probably spend the rest of his life in prison. David will serve a life sentence with the chance of parole after 19 years. Luckily, these men might never walk free again, but Julie's story can never be forgotten. She was an innocent person who trusted people and liked to make friends. What did she get in return? 2 killer-obsessed psychos chose her as an easy target and chopped her to bits. Hey, thanks for watching. Till next time, and stay safe.